OK, doctor surgery is now open, and from today the hepatitis B vaccine is to be added to the 5-in-1 jab given to babies across the UK. But that's not the only vaccine to have appeared in the headlines these past few weeks, is it?
Yeah, so it's a bit confusing, some of it. What is compulsory, what's optional, what's in the best interest of your little one? So to help clear things up, Dr. Zoe is here. We're calling this your vaccination clinic today. And people get very nervous about vaccinations, don't they? Because there's so much information out there, some of it not always correct.
I always dreaded it with every one of my children. I always looked for side effects and things with it, and then there's people who just won't do them.
Yeah, I mean, there's been so much in the press over recent years, and there's been a lot of scaremongering as well, and there are certain people who absolutely will not vaccinate their children because they believe that they're well informed and they believe they're making the right choice for their child. The majority of people, thankfully, still want to vaccinate their children. And then there are lots of people in the middle and they just don't know what's the best thing to do.
Can I say, like, something like hepatitis B? What are your chances of catching hepatitis B? Why do you need to vaccinate a child? Unless
you're somebody who's classed as high risk, then the chances of catching hepatitis B in the UK are actually very low compared to a lot of other places. Hepatitis B, it's a virus that affects the liver. And as an adult, if you catch hepatitis B, there's a good chance that you'll actually fight it off. But as a child, if you catch hepatitis B, you might not have any symptoms for a very long time, but as over the years, 10, 20, 30 years, that can cause scarring in the liver and can increase your chances of liver cancer later in life.
How do you get it then? How do you contract it?
It's a virus.
Through bodily fluids. So in babies can contract it if their mother's infected. That's the commonest way that a baby would contract it. So for most people, you're more likely to contract it later in life from if you're having any blood transfusions, not in this country, from sexual activity, from saliva. You can even catch it from saliva. So there are lots of ways it can be contracted. And if you're working in healthcare, for example, someone like me, then you have to be vaccinated because your risk of catching it is higher. So even though the risks are low, the risks are there, and the risk of the vaccine is minimal. So when you weigh up benefits against the dangers, the benefits outweigh the dangers.
OK, so this will now be a 6-in-1 vaccine?
Yes.
And they're given, is it still 3 times?
Yes, so they're still given. So they're given 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 14 weeks, and they're now immunised against 6 very dangerous viruses all at the same time, and that's just part of the NHS vaccination programme. There are then further vaccines. Poor children actually do, suffer quite a lot of vaccines, but actually what we're protecting children from is potentially life-threatening disease.
Well,